Andrew Freund here in the car from the highly anticipated movie The Host, where I'm getting ready to talk to stars Saoirse Ronan, Diane Kruger, Jake Abel, Max Irons, and I get an exclusive chat with author Stephenie Meyer.
Almost every human has been successfully occupied. We could be taken at any moment. However, there are still pockets of human resistance.
They're mobilizing. We gotta go.
I'll lead them away.
Melody, no!
Come with us. I'd rather die.
Wait, come back! Can we ask you a question? Can we ask you a favour? When you sit down with Stephenie, can you say how long till you write your next Harry Potter book?
Yes,
done. Can you do that?
I will totally do that.
Please.
Done.
Thank you.
Done.
That's a handshake.
But really, really
sell it. As if it's
I will.
Don't
waste,
pull out.
you know,
I will.
And then get flustered and drop the paper.
Okay. I'm totally gonna do that, by the way.
Please.
Max and Jake wanted me to ask you when your next Harry Potter book is coming out.
I knew they'd be trashing me today because I'm ahead in the prank war, and Jake can't stand it, so of course he's going to come at me. That is just fine. Bring it on, boys.
But let's talk about this cast. Are they the ideal cast for the novel that you created?
Oddly, they are. It's interesting because when we were first casting, I was thinking much older for Saoirse's character particularly, and I had some, actresses near 30 that I was thinking, okay, let's age this up a bit. And then, Saoirse got involved. And how do you say no to the perfect actress who can do the role so well? It's a tricky thing, and she makes it look easy, but you forget that she isn't two people. You really forget that it's just one girl talking to herself on the screen because she does it so well. And so at that point, we kind of had to rethink the idea, and we went a little younger, but, for Saoirse, it's worth it. And we ended up getting the perfect guys with her, and the chemistry was there, and they had so much screen charisma that you actually look away from Saoirse, which is a rare thing we found in the audition process. And so it worked out really great. And then we had, we have a Jeb. We've got William Hurt telling us, hey, I want to be in your movie. And you're going, really? Okay. If you want to. And he was so good.
He was really good.
That was the weirdest day to get that email that he wanted to be in the movie, that he came to us. Blew my mind.
How would you describe a Stephenie Meyer type story? What elements does it have?
I think Stephenie's stories are very relatable to somebody who is growing up, to somebody who is going through something for the first time, whether it be, discovering themselves or the world or love, falling in love for the first time, or the kind of conflict that brings, all that kind of stuff. Stephenie writes so clearly that I think it's very enjoyable for younger people to read, and they connect with it so much because she's really speaking to them as an equal. And I think you get that with all of her books.
That is a good question. I'm not sure how to answer that because I loved Twilight, but I had not read The Host before I was offered this film, and I wasn't quite aware of the teenaged fan base or young girl fan base that she has. And when I saw the finished movie, I realized what makes her so unique, I guess, is that even though they're always female driven and they're young girls and hot guys, they really appeal to a lot of people because they are very aspirational and they tackle big issues like, not just love, but also what world we live in and the temptations we all go through. So I'm actually, I feel like I'm part of a club now because the people who love her are like devoted children following her around.
Well, I think with sort of the advent of The Host, it's not one thing anymore. I think people expect it to be like her previous work and be the same thing and sort of be recycled, and it's not. I think when we both read the script the first time, we maybe even expected that, but it's different. Andrew Niccol has adapted her novel so perfectly without compromising any of the heart of it.
But I think one thing that is a common denominator between both things is that she is clearly in touch with something. She's in touch with various themes, and she writes them in very skillfully and very subtly. Themes which obviously appeal to a huge amount of people. In fact, it caused a phenomenon. It caused a cultural shift. It changed the way films are made. She's clearly tapping into something.
If you could take over the body of any pop star,
Pop star?
who would it be and why?
I would have loved to be Michael Jackson for a day, I will say. He was my first concert when I was young, 12 or 13 years old, and I would have loved to see what it was like living in Neverland and just going through what he went through.
Can you dance?
I do. I
Like-
definitely learned the moonwalk, absolutely. Halloween, that was my favorite costume, for sure.
Well, I have reasons to make them go away, but I would say, Beyonce, right?
Yeah,
Is it the
I'm
easy
not so
one?
convinced
Is it-
of that.
No? To be able to dance and sing.
And she's married to Jay-Z, so you can hang out with Jay-Z by proxy.
Yeah.
I'd go with Beyonce for that
Yeah,
reason.
for that reason alone.
Both of you would be Beyonce.
Yeah. Or,
I could be a soul, and you could be Beyonce, and we could live in there
together. And talk about
You
how
see
great
what we
it is
did
to
there?
hang out
We
with
brought
Jay-Z.
your question back to the movie. Like that.
Good marketing.
We've been doing this for a little while.
Probably Beyonce, obviously. Why not? I'd say B. Although I love frames like Patti Smith as well, and people like that. I think they're singers that really I visually like are really interesting. But B's got a great body.
The boys both
So.
said Beyonce.
Did they?
Yeah.
Of course they did.
Barely a bone not broken or organ ruptured.
This one wants to live.
When we occupy this host, her memories will lead us to the resistance.
Her name is Melanie Strider. She was born in Louisiana. Her family escaped the initial waves of colonization.
What is happening? Is she resisting? It's important you stay in control of this host.
Melanie.
You found us.
Us.
You know, obviously this movie, huge pressure for you, coming a part of a franchise, potential franchise, you know, especially off the Twilight, obviously.
Yeah.
Any added angst coming into this?
I'm trying not to let there be any of that. You know, I want to be able to enjoy it, and I mean, I never felt that way when we were on set. We never kind of had that pressure or were very aware of it. I mean, obviously everyone's asking about, you know, the comparisons to Twilight and whether it's going to be a franchise like that and all that kind of stuff. And the truth is, I don't know. I think we just kind of have to take it as it comes. But it's been great so far, and the readers of the book seem to really like it, which is very important.
So let's talk, you know, last time we spoke was 5 years ago during the first Twilight junket. What has surprised you the most about your ride over the past 5 years?
I guess that I'm still doing this feels odd. You know, I kind of at that time it felt like, okay, I'm gonna go do this one scary thing, and then I'm done. I don't ever have to do this again. I've gotten a lot better at it though. I'm not as scared. I mean, I haven't gotten better at interviews. I just am not nervous and puking afterwards, which is great. I appreciate that fact that my body's letting me calm down a bit. But really, I wouldn't have thought that this would be such a thing. You know,
Yeah.
You don't expect that ever.
Does love conquer all, or is it something we just see in the movies?
I think it can. I think it has the potential. I think it very, very rarely does. And maybe that's why I like to write fantasies where love does conquer all, because that's what you want to have happen. You want the good emotions to win out. And it's too bad it doesn't happen more in real life.
I think love makes the world go round. We all want it. We're all looking for it. It makes us do crazy things. You know, that's why there's so many movies about them, because we all want it. We all fear it, and we all have suffered and had the greatest joy because of it.
at the end of the day, everything goes back to love, really. And whether it be something that you're doing as a career, whether you've made a decision about something, it all results back to you being happy, and it always comes from the heart, doesn't it? So, but anyone will tell you that ultimately. I mean, the most important things are your family, your friends, your whoever, your partner. So yeah, I think so.
What do you think the movie says about the human race and why we can be taken over, would you say?
I think it's you know, you look at history, you look at today's world, you see intolerance left, right, and centre, and I think our film shows humans for what they can be when put under pressure, which is violent, which is intolerant, aggressive, destructive.
But they also have the capability to learn and to change. Sometimes it has to be forced upon us.
And you look at Jamie Strider's character, you know, he's a child, he hasn't learned to hate yet, he hasn't learned to be intolerant, and he's the first person to open up to wonder, open up to the idea of aliens.
Mm.
Now, I know the other two books are not written yet, correct?
Right.
So how does all this go into writing the next two books, or is it already mapped out in your head?
It's mostly mapped out. The only thing this does is slow it down, and you know, I wish that the book was coming out now. It makes so much more sense, and I'm frustrated that the time just kind of gets away from you. And that's when I'm done here. That's what my next thing is locking myself in, and I mean it this time. And you know, all of those people who are going to call me don't. I'm not answering my phone.
You can tweet her.
I don't tweet. I don't have a Twitter account.
Don't Twitter. Yeah, that's true. I looked that up. You don't.
I don't do any of that. It's just too much. It's a lot. Although it puts me behind with Jake out there tweeting crap and getting me in trouble. This is the first time I've ever considered it, just to get back at Jake Abel.
The next Harry Potter book is coming out by Stephenie Meyer.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
I'm waking up to ash and
Jared.
It's one of them. It's still her body.
I'm breaking in, shaping up.
We find her, we find the resistance. She could bring a whole army down on our heads.
You don't know what I've been through to find you. You'll have to trust me.
I'm waking up.
Do you pity the humans?
I miss everything about her. I gotta know. Is Melanie in there?
This is war.